to take that also away from Gen.G. But the draft is ready, and we're going to head straight into that to see if maybe here in the third game of the series, and potentially even the last, they have what it takes to throw that little curveball to put Gen.G in a spot where they don't have the upper hand in the draft and might fall behind early on. But we're starting things off with the exact same ban pattern that we have seen so far from Ballistics, going straight into the ban on Phoenix, which is countered on the other side by a ban on Gen.G.
And I mean, I don't know if you can keep doing this as Ballistics. I feel like you have to change something, you know. We talk about it again, you're at tournament point. I feel like you either need to, I mean, do they really just stick to their guns and play the same style? I am kind of looking at that Stu-Cop. We did talk about how Magai was playing it before, and he didn't look, you know, they looked comfortable on it. And they, you know, maybe that's the answer, you know, these big Stu-Cop combos. Maybe that's something you can pull out that will be a little bit different for Gen.G and something they aren't quite as familiar with.
Whenever their backs were against the wall against Blossom, they went to their core. We got SC on something like a Vala, right? They were willing to go to what these guys were known for, and that's something I feel like they need to dig deep into again. But that Deckard is not going in that direction. A snap response from Gen.G, a Diablo Rainer. A lot of threat when it comes to the Shrine from both of those characters.
I mean, it is the top 3 again in the drafts here. The 3 heroes picked here right at the beginning, and this combo is already extremely dangerous. Having Diablo available to you on Infernal Shrines of all map, that is just terrifying.
I think that's the biggest point when I see that 1-2 from Gen.G. It's very different than some of the other Battlegrounds where it's still objectively powerful picks, but both of these accent the Battleground really, really well. And so it's going to be tough. As Ballistics moves down the draft, we get ourselves a Blaze, at least going to find a way to be able to bunker down and help out Deckard with that survivability, along with that a new Barak pick. And then Maiev and Malfurion are the bans for Ballistics. I like the fact that we get the Malfurion there, even though Gen.G is one of the teams that probably have a better Kharazim. The fact that it is Infernal Shrines, you already take off the Deckard. Kharazim does not hold the same weight here as some of the other Battlegrounds.
Does it surprise a little bit that we have Blaze over URL with the Anubara combo? I mean, still good, don't get me wrong, but did we expect URL to be taken with Anubarak again for that heavy engagement in the backline?
I think we're looking at Blaze more as a soft counter to Diablo. You know, it's nice into the lightning breath. You know, if you get the bunker down with a good engage on the Diablo, you can kind of burn him with the flamethrowers. He's pretty susceptible to that. So I think that's kind of what Ballistics are thinking when they do go for this Blaze against the Diablo. We see presumably Rich's Thrall here again, played it on Shrines before, crushing lockdowns Kel'Thas with some excellent Sunderings. I think we can expect about the same thing to be happening here.
Last picks for Ballistics. It is Tychus and Greymane. SDE sticking to that core on that Tychus pickup. And as well with SC towards that Greymane. You know, I asked them to kind of stick a little bit more towards the roots and spice things up a little bit here. Not immediately what I would go to and say this is what I would love, but it is, again, a little bit more towards their background. And it was the success that they found with Blossom. So I hope to see that here again for Ballistics. But last pick, get ourselves a Leo.
What do you think about that Tychus pick here? We actually discussed Tychus quite a bit, and it really feels it's just the direct counter. Okay, you have Diablo on your side. We pick Greymane. Can we see the Cursed Bullet here? Full engage on Diablo, burn him down as quickly as you can, try and get the stun log with Blaze and Ubarak. Is that the play?
Yeah, I think we're almost certainly seeing a Cursed Bullet here, especially in synergy with the Tigers. I did talk about how that Blaze, you know, charge into the Diablo, get the bunker down. That's even more effective when you have this percentage damage, you know. We saw even, you know, Team Dignitas playing that Cursed Bullet combo against Diablo. You get the Blaze charge, you set up the percentage damage, and then you try and burn him down and finish him off with the bunker after that. So I think that's mainly what Ballistics is going to be looking for, especially with that Anubrak as well. You can cocoon the Thrall to prevent the counter engage. You can cocoon the Leoric, so you know he can't really mess with your backline while they're trying to, you know, one-shot this Diablo. But yeah, I think playing frontline here is pretty much the only thing Ballistics can do.
The one thing I really enjoy about that composition is the fact that Greymane and Tychus are amazing at getting at least some siege opportunities. Maybe not the best follow-up kill potential immediately when looking towards the Punisher, but definitely have that opportunity of that. If you get 1 to 2 kills and a Punisher is there, they make it matter, right? But the opportunities with Odin and along with Greymane in the working form, and that is something that is going to be a concern because I feel like Gen.G is the standout team when it comes to Infernal Shrines. They always make those Punishers really, really matter here, so that Ballistics can rely on that here is at least something for them.
I mean, it's the last chance for them. And, I mean, you can see it reflected already in how Twitch chat is currently voting for the teams. It's actually, to me, even a bit surprising that Ballistics receives this many votes considering how dominant Gen.G was. And they have still not dropped a single map in this tournament. But maybe this is the draft here. The pressure against Diablo, trying to take him apart here. If they can use a Nubarak to get the deep dive, get the quick kill. It's all they need, I feel.
I agree. It feels like that's got to be the focus here.
The one thing I also want to point out is, like, one of the problems that they had in a lot of the games is when they jumped on one hero and took him down, it was always the punishment through Deckard Cain on the other side that immediately followed. And this time, that's not a tool that Gen.G has. So that's what gives me a little bit more hope for them to execute those plays.
All right, well, we're going to figure out if they have the tools to execute those plays and extend this series, or if Gen.G is going to go undefeated here at the Eastern Clash. We have Game 4 on Infernal Shrines. Let's get to it.
The game is on, and it might be the last one. Gen.G with a 3-0 in this series starts the left side of Infernal Shrines with Sake on Karazim, Reset on Reyna, Rich on Thrall, Kyoja on Leoric, and Tist on Diablo.
The battle begins in 10 seconds.
The team needing a miracle here. It is Ballistics with Magi on that Deckard Cain, SDE on his Tychus, Jung-Ha playing Blaze, Hooligan, Rack, and SC on Greymane.
Gen.G wants the perfect tournament. Dignitas has already made it happen at the Western Clash, and we have seen the performance from Fnatic last year in Kiev as well at the Western Clash. Now Gen.G, they are aiming to win the Eastern Clash without dropping a single map, and this is where they can make it happen.
Yeah, able to set that kind of landscape to make sure that BlizzCon, the Western scene, is absolutely afraid of them, as Dignitas again did end up sending out to the Eastern scene here. Rotations, though, going to be a 3-2 split for Ballistics. I like the fact that we see that with the Tychus rotation now, not only because it posts 4, pretty good kill potential to any lane, even the off lane, but just finding ways to gain structural advantages and kind of poke and prod to Gen.G structures, so maybe those Punishers can get a little bit more value.
Tychus is one of the heroes that we have to definitely keep our eye on. Every time we talk about this map, it's more so Alexstrasza that these days is taking the spotlight with her Dragon Queen form. But of course, Odin was for the longest time a tool that so many teams used here to make sure that they can secure a Punisher, an objective, especially after that magic number of 20 minions. And this is something we're going to see from Ballistics as well. But one of the main reasons why we have Tychus taken in this particular game now is Diablo on the other side, trying to burn down the front line of Gen.G with the help of Greymane, get a quick kill and carry that into the heart of the opponent's team.
Ballistics ended up picking up the quicker impalers here, but is not going to find a way to escort it in like we traditionally see out of them. One of the better teams at ensuring that each camp ends up gaining something here. They're not going to siege with it. They need to make something else happen, and it seems like the decision is going to focus on to those bottom impalers. We'll see if they can escort those in a little bit here, but I can't help but feel like Gen.G understands that this is, in fact, the decision already made, and why you see that 3-man siege here throughout mid.
Yeah, and this 3-man is pushing in aggressively, but down to the bot lane, as you said. The camp is taken, and that gives Ballistic a bit more control over this. The top lane with Blaze and Leoric currently holding strong here. It's all about objective number 1. Important enough is that we have on the side of Thrall again the quest taken, so he is going into the Frost Wolves once more. This is something that Rich was not able to complete in the previous game they played on Infernal Shrines.
Great Wraith Walk.
Nice move back here by Kyoja. But it's also about the Echo of Elements again, which you want to complete before the first objective spawns so that you can prioritize the heroes heavily. That was a nice play though. Jung-Ha in trouble, and down he goes. Perfect flip here by Diablo, and one of the main reasons why you don't approach gates when you have a Diablo on the other side.
That was just ridiculous map sense and game sense being displayed by Gen.G on so many levels. First of all, willing to start with a 3-2 split and get that Gen.G, start the actual Shaman camp before Ballistics, then expecting that Ballistics in 1 and 2 situations. They're either on the Shaman matching it, or they're looking for the gank on Kyoja. He's just going to go ahead and blind drop the Wraithwalk as the jet propulsion comes out from Fog, buying time. So they end up getting the kill, keeping Kyoja alive, and picking up the camp. Gen.G showing why they have gone undefeated up until this very point.
And it's, of course, perfect here for the first objective as well. Now on level 4, we have In the Rhythm being picked for Tychus, but Gen.G is at this point looking at a lead. That's very difficult to match for Ballistics, and they're going in for Jung-Ha again, and he is once more falling. That's the second kill against Blaze. Ballistics has already completely split on the map, and that little move there definitely not helping the case of the red team.
Yeah, now Ballistics is trying to find ways to stop the bleeding just by using that Tychus Greymane siege damage opportunities, not with the Punisher like I was talking about in the draft, but instead realizing they're never going to get it, at least not over this first run, and get the damage on other aspects of the battleground. This is a very common strategy we used to see with Greymanes on Infernal Shrines. It's still effective, it's just that Greymane doesn't necessarily have the same impact that it used to, and so Ballistics here now make the transfer up and will deal with the Punisher.
With Greymane, it's also always the ability to just raise down the structures. And of course, he also is very, very helpful when it comes down to eliminating the Punisher. And we can see that in action up to the top here. Gen.G is not going to get too much out of the first Punisher. Scaling in the late game is what makes them so dangerous. Talking about dangerous, SDE goes down as we have Sake dive behind the gate with the Earth Ally here, making sure that he gets the vision, gets the kill, takes down Tigers, and is able to escape through the small wall to the side that his team opens up for him.
I just adore the cutthroat mentality that Gen.G has, because Sake didn't even necessarily have to get the Radiant Dash at that point in time because the Drain Hope was still there, but just not taking the risk of any opportunity to get that max range. Hold up though, Tis gonna get slowed by the Project Cube thrown out by Moggies. Gen.G use the rotational advantage of the fact that they had so many resources of Ballistics towards that top lane to deal with the Punisher, get an Impaler, and suddenly the momentum here is starting to kind of build an amount here for Gen.G.
Absolutely no mercy from Gen.G. 3 kills against 0. But then, to be fair, Ballistics not too far behind the experience yet. Looks not too pretty, but it's definitely one of those situations where with level 10 abilities, you still have the opportunity to fight here. And also a couple of adjustments here again with the build. Now we see follow through coming in for Thrall. He wants the cooldown reduction through his level 4 quest. We're still seeing Ridge on 0 stacks at this point. Didn't have a lot of brawls happening here, but once you get that cooldown reduction, follow through is definitely giving you a little bit more damage here. And of course, the opportunity to get a few of those kills. And the Relentless Soldier, with all the stuns that are coming out of Gen.G, Tigers making the adaptation here on level 7.
We often talk about Rich as being a very confident player, but I feel like there are so many moments of confidence being displayed on all members of Gen.G. For instance, Sake is willing to just, with only vision on one hero on the battleground, blind, just Radiant Dash onto an Anubarak solo, throw down the whole punch rotation and just going like, hey, do you want to throw any spells? They just call out every posturing that anybody on Ballistics has. And I feel like that is very much why they are kind of feel like crumbling under the pressure that Gen.G has built here.
And Gen.G, once again, they are trying to go for this right now. This team is so dominant. Their goal is BlizzCon. They want the fight against Dignitas. The beast in the east going up against the best in the west. That's what they're waiting for here, but they have to go through Ballistics first to secure their dominant position at the top of the food chain in Korea. And so far, things are looking great for them. But Ballistics, they have their level 10 and a chance to fight back.
Where will they end up getting that fight is the biggest question that we've got to be asking. We know that we're going to have that shrine spawning on bottom. Shamans are very, very important here, but look at this. Gen.G was the only one to capture theirs at a reasonable time frame to be able to start it as this bottom shrine spawns. That's a big setback for Ballistics. They know this. Question is whether or not they're going to even sniff for an invade. I don't even think they'll have the time if they choose to do so. So Gen.G will have the split pressure advantage. We'll see what they can make happen with it.
This is one of those moments now where we have Odin. This is a great tool for Ballistics to secure a Punisher for themselves. And they set up at that bot lane. They know the camp is up top. And Blaze is still in the vicinity. But he's starting to make the rotation down. They want the fight. They know this is a big opportunity for them. And already setting themselves ahead in the minion count here as Blaze rotates in. But we have the immediate go straight for Tigers. He's about to fall. Goes down here. Great kill by Gen.G. The Anubarak with a cocoon. But it's not enough to save anyone here. No counter kill. Gen.G just dominant.
They are absolutely obliterating the health bars of Ballistics. Look at that reset, even zoning off SC and Moggy almost single-handedly. The stay a while and listen dropped just to buy more time for Moggy. And meanwhile, that Shaman camp has been left alone again due to the Shaman camp timing over that first rotation. This is Gen.G and the steps that they do and look in towards the future, and then it pays off in dividends whenever they see a minor victory at other parts of the battleground. Top 4 will not end up dying, but it's so pretty much over, even if it does end up holding its own up there. Never mind, it will end up getting the drop. But it's just showing Gen.G, they seem almost unstoppable here. I mean, what do you do to this? They win everywhere.
Ballistics is currently experiencing a first-class beating at the hands of Gen.G, who are just ripping them apart with a 5-0 kill count, looking to take down an Uberak at the bot lane after the Punisher jumps over. The Korean team now with level 13 talents already, and they are taking the map. They are taking the mercenaries one after another. The top fort has fallen. Level 13 talents, a 1.5 level lead. Gen.G is looking fantastic here, and they are trying to make sure that Ballistics has absolutely no chance of even attempting a comeback.
I wonder if this is going to be the most realistic fight that Ballistics is going to get in this game. 12 and a 13 while defense over the middle fort. And if they should commit a few more rotations there towards the defense over that Impaler, they will not make the transition here. And so we'll see what they end up making happen. But Gen.G, meanwhile, is going to back out, paint the battleground blue. And understandably so, this is what Gen.G will do. They get themselves in a position, they abuse the information and rotations on the battleground until you make a misstep, they get a gank, get a pick, or put you in a lose-lose scenario. And Ballistics has been eating a lot of those throughout the series.
Thrall is currently also missing one additional Wolf to complete his level 4 quest, and once we have level 16 for him and see Alpha Wolf, this is going to empower him even more against that front line. Right now, Ballistics waiting for 13. They are trying to set themselves up for some kind of fight. The camp taken at the top right now, creating some counter pressure. They have by no means given up here. They're playing a patient game. They're going for experience. They're one level behind. They know they still got this if they win a fight.
They were not able to make the transition to get that 13 into 14 though. And with the Shaman camp timing that they do have, it's going to find this situation where they're not going to have the split pressure opportunities once more. So it is on them to get a kind of cocoon force or something against Gen.G. Otherwise, it's just going to be Gen.G, again, walking away with all this. I agree with you. It's not giving up, but I do wonder if it's a little bit too slow because the 13 window is far easier than the 16 spike that Gen.G is going to hit. Even, you know, Pharaoh's heart, or excuse me, the Wolf heart actually hitting or not.
Quest completed on level 4, finally pulls it off here. And the thing is that you're absolutely right. Someone on Ballistic side has to really step up and find that one move. And this is a great rotation that they have into the middle, dropping a few of the structures here, trying to get some additional experience. And let's not forget, in the last fight, they were a bit slow with the rotation on Blaze. They didn't get the 5 versus 5 they really wanted. Maybe the next fight is going to give them exactly that. And here comes the engage. They go for Diablo. They're going straight in. The bullet hits. They want him. They want Tiss. And they're going to get him.
They are going to get Tiss. And stay a while. Listen, actually going to get Rich as well. They're going to get diving in, but SDE falling low and actually dies. 1-for-1 trade. Rich going to get Burrow charged down. And finally, Ballistics end up taking an advantage here on the back end, though. You see the Entomb drop. Magi trying to kite away. Reset, throwing in those auto attacks. Blaze drops here. And a dead even skirmish for these squads as Gen.G rounds a 16.
The 2-for-2 trade as Karazim went in. Sake went full Bruce Lee in the last engage and dropped a Tychus. Right now, it could hit even harder as Magi is trying to kite towards the side, but that's never going to happen. Sake eliminating the old man, pummeling him into the ground and confirming the kill here. 16 versus 14. The Shrine activating another 17 seconds, and Ballistics is again on the ropes.
Great job there by Gen.G after that victory in the skirmish to cut off the escape and further the advantage that they have for themselves. Ballistics, without that 16, this is going to be a lot of skeletal defenders given up for free. Likely going to be, I mean, minimum of the fort, as there's already so much damage done towards that point. It's just, can they hold off onto the keep, or does somebody end up dying to that Punisher lead over with Tiss, again, following up?
But again, it comes back to how well we're seeing Gen.G really play here. They lose Diablo, but they are still able to go into a positive trade for themselves. And that ability to just always find counter value is what makes this team so amazing. Sake getting the kill against Tychus, them getting another one against Blaze, and then even on the chase eliminating Deckard Cain is what makes this team just so incredibly powerful. Ballistics have finally secured level 16 for themselves, but decided to not even head into this objective because they realize the best that they can do is try and use the level 16 ability to set up for the defense here in the mid lane.
The fort pretty much already gone. Chump change here for Gen.G. Keep now is going to be the focus. Let's see who ends up getting the bait. Hooligan's going to be the man who wears that. No trigger pulled yet. Odin already dropped. Look at Kyoja with the Wraith Walk here, right, making his way all the way in, but Sake out a bit too far. There goes the Radiant Dash. Cursed Bullet actually whiffs there. Entomb blocking all of the members of Ballistics out of there. Stay a while and listen. The Sun Ring goes through. Hooligan gets Lightning Breath to death. He is the first to drop. Jungha trying to kite away, unable to do so. Gen.G ends up getting 2 kills and likely to keep the follow.
They're trying to go for more, they're trying to go for AC, but he barely survives here. Kyoja at least dies, but we have Gen.G just going ham on that keep, taking it down, and SC is still struggling here. The Wolf comes through as Rich is expecting him to step forward, but Greymane on the way back as Gen.G has the 2-level lead, 10 kills against 3, the 3-0 in the series. Gen.G, they want this Eastern Clash title.
So now there is a very tough and kind of awkward position, knowing with that 20 spike and the catapults are going to be constantly providing a vision advantage for Gen.G throughout mid. Ballistics has to look 30 to 40 seconds into the future, figure out what mercenaries Gen.G is going to be at, and pick a fight there before the 20. And the answer is that is top left shamans. They have to make this rotation before the vision of the minions get too far against them, and it becomes a blatantly obvious rotation and very free. Blaze makes his way down. And I can't help but feel like this is, again, forfeiting that 20 spike because I don't see any other opportunity to get this skirmish if you're Ballistics.
They go down to the bot lane with Blaze. They're trying to push it out since those Khazar camps are going to push in, but that allows Gen.G to move to the top. They have a vision. Ballistics is trying to somehow raise experience towards 20. And I have to agree with you here. I don't think there's any way of them making that happen. They need to either force a fight before level 20 hits for their opponent or simply accept that they will lose another Punisher and face Gen.G with Storm Talents. Here comes the engage, they're going in, but again Diablo is the target. The Kun is on the ground, they're trying to go for Tis. This is an opportunity and they take it. The bunker's on the ground, Sundering comes through. This might be the one opportunity for Ballistics. They get a kill, do they get the second? They pull it off, they take down Karasim, but Greymane falls.
Stay a while and listen, along with the knockup, Reset ends up dropping there. Look at Kyoja with the flank. This Entomb is going to be Omega value in this choke if he wants to end up getting the drop. There it is, going to stop the retreat for all of those members for Ballistics. He will be the man to drop, but they're trying to buy time for Reset, or Tis, excuse me, as he gets the Shadow Charge against the wall. SDE will be able to kite out, and now Tis finds himself stuck on the other side of Ballistic, an engagement he absolutely did not want.
Diablo might be the Lord of Terror, but a 1 versus 4 is a bit optimistic even for him. Down he goes again, and that is 11 kills against 8 now. And all of a sudden, Ballistics is back to business. They have to deal with the top lane push, but they are 19.5. They are definitely in a position where they can take down these structures, where they can get level 20, where they can fight for the next objective. Ballistics is back in game number 4.
They did an amazing job of punishing Sake with a very greedy rotation and the overextension there from Gen.G over that bottom fort, because Sake was willing to take a 1 versus 1 with Tychus in a position that he absolutely could not take here. We have 8 seconds until the shrine spawns. That's about a 15-second deficit until Diablo is even going to be back here, not considering his travel time. So Ballistics gain a lot of free skeleton defenders, and they need to make this Punisher count.
They have to ride this momentum wave right now, and Odin is going to be back if there is a fight. Ballistics has a chance now. They can try and get the momentum here, and Gen.G is responding with a rotation to the top, trying to pressure, get another keep. They show on the wave. Ballistics, they know what's coming, and they're already starting to retreat here as Gen.G is trying to out-macro them.
They get the bait onto Nubarak and Tychus. Anub was back the entirety of that time. They don't see Tychus making the transition back, so they do not know if SE is back with this Punisher, at least not yet.
Gen.G needs to be careful. With Hooligan there, there's always the pressure of Cocoon available.
It's not going to hit yet. Rich, man, the man walks with so much confidence. His team backing, doesn't afraid of anything. Still willing to take this fight, take the 1 versus 1. Punisher is here, down below. The frozen Punisher here for Ballistics. They don't have the Cocoon or the Burrow Charge to follow up on that leap over the wall. But cleansing touch there from Sake, and it looks like this is a pretty easy Punisher to deal with for now.
It's still 20 versus 20. And a few minutes ago, I would never have believed that Ballistics can back into this, and they're actually starting to move in. Here comes Odin. They go in. The Punisher jumps indeed. The follow-up attempt, but the Sundering comes through.
Buried alive!
But there comes the immediate attempt at a bunker. It's too late, though. Deckard is already down. Here comes the Nubarak, but he comes in a bit too late as Tychus dies. They're trying to get out. Jongha falls. It's a triple kill. They are on the run as Sion Greymane gets slowed, and Sake, he wants the kill. He goes in. Karazim is not going to let the Wolf escape here.
They've done it.
Or
It seems like they managed to do it here. The retreat for Ballistics is just escorting Gen.G to the end of this game. Calder, that middle keep has catapults building. That Punisher is not going to have the damage output to end this game whatsoever. 5 members of Ballistics are going to be wiped, and Gen.G take the red carpet here to the core of Ballistics.
What looked like a great attack for Ballistics and maybe some momentum for them turns around against them as Gen.G shows no mercy, has the perfect buried alive, has the follow-up with everything they throw against their opponent, and Gen.G goes in for the victory.
Gen.G, ladies and gentlemen, are going to be your Eastern Clash champions. Just another day in the office, it seems like, here for these boys.
An unbelievable performance. They don't drop a single map in the tournament. They do what Fnatic and Dignitas did before them. The undefeated ones here at the Eastern Clash. Ladies and gentlemen, they held it high, the trophy. Rich definitely having some fun here as we have the champions of the Eastern Clash. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Gen.G.
The fact that they have been able to set this type of precedent and follow the impressive performance of Team Dignitas here, again, I feel like is building a perfect storm for what we have at the international landscape ahead, knowing that Gen.G is the last remaining and most important tournament, the World Championship here for the HGCs. And I cannot wait after this now, knowing that we have this from the Eastern and Western Clash.
The 2 events that we just had coming from the Western Clash with the performance that Dignitas showcased there, coming here to Korea, to Seoul, and see how Gen.G is just dominating in the East, really makes the anticipation for BlizzCon even bigger. It is going to be an absolutely amazing event when those 2 teams clash, and of course there's always the chance that someone else steps it up towards the end of the year to threaten the 2.
Yeah, and it's even more fitting knowing that this is the only championship and only title that Gen.G as a roster has not been able to claim for themselves. Mid-season Brawl, BlizzCon, even global championships way back when we had those. They have each and every one of them. But now, finally, an Eastern Clash to claim for their own.
It is amazing, in particular, how clean the last series was that they played here. Just when it seemed, again, for the 3rd time in a row in that series, that maybe, just maybe, Ballistics has a chance. Gen.G shuts them down when Ballistics look the strongest.
I am here with our victors of Gen.G. They just completed the clean sweep here throughout, and for this tournament, obviously this is the first time for you all that you have won in a year and a half on the first Eastern Clash, dropping to Ballistics twice in between there. Now that you've taken that defeat, how does it feel to reclaim that title here in Korea?
1년 반 만에 이스턴 클래시 우승을 드디어 차지하셨는데 지금 소감을 듣고 싶습니다.
이스턴 클래시를 우승한 것 자체는 기쁘지만 이게 한국에서 우승해서 더 뜻깊은 것 같아요.
I am very glad to have won the Eastern Clash, and furthermore, I'm even more glad because we won it in Korea.
Well, obviously you were going up against one of your fiercest rivals in Ballistics, knowing that you were facing them, seeing their run through today. What was the game plan coming into this last series?
강력한 라이벌인 발리스틱스를 이제 결승에서 상대하셨는데 발리스틱스가 이제 결승에 올라오는 모습을 지켜보면서 어떤 기분이 들었나요?
저희가 발리스틱스를 3대0으로 이겼을 때까지만 해도 아쉽네 이 생각을 했었는데 그 패자조에서 다 이기고 올라오는 모습을 보면서 진짜 대만 때 일처럼 지겠구나 이 생각을 했는데 그래서 제가 또 집중을 잘해서 이겼습니다.
When we first beat them 3-0 in earlier round, we thought they were easy opponent. But watching them coming through the losers group, we thought that reminded me of the time in Taipei, the last Eastern Clash when they came back and beat us. But fortunately, because I was able to concentrate, we won.
Well, obviously, this was definitely a success for you all. You all did get the victory. Now, when you look at this, Rich, this is the only tournament you've never won. Now that you've picked up this victory personally for you, how does it feel to finally complete and fulfill that trophy case for you? Is there a personal accomplishment that you feel now that you've completed the Eastern Clash?
이제 리치 선수 개인에게 묻는 질문인데 이스턴 클래시 우승컵을 이제 드디어 진열장에 장식할 수 있어요. 지금껏 모아놓은 다른 트로피들과 함께 그것을 성취한 기분이 어떠신가요?
새로운 트로피를 팀에 가져다 줄 수 있어서 정말 기쁘고 아직은 블리즈컨 트로피를 젠지에 주지 못해서 블리즈컨이 더 뜻깊을 것 같아요.
So yes, I'm glad to finally bring the trophy home to our team house, and we haven't won BlizzCon yet, so as Gen.G, so I think this BlizzCon will be more meaningful to us.
Well, let's talk about BlizzCon, because there was some talk at Mid-Season Brawl that for the members that were there, obviously they want to win the back-to-back. No team has ever done that. Now that you've won Mid-Season Brawl and this, what are the odds looking like when you do go to BlizzCon? Do you feel that this is the right team, the right time to complete that back-to-back now under the Gen.G banner?
블리즈컨에 대해서 얘기를 할 건데요. 미드 시즌 난투를 우승하고 그 다음에 연달아서 이스턴 클래시까지 정복한 사례가 없는데 그걸 달성했어요. 그럼 이번에야말로 블리즈컨을 우승할 때가 왔다고 느끼시나요?
근데 이번 대회에서 저희 팀 메타가 정말 잘 맞았다고 생각하고 블리즈컨 때는 또 어떻게 패치가 돼서 어떤 팀이 더 세질지 모르기 때문에 아직은 속단하기 이르다고 생각해요.
So I think the current meta, suit our team this time. But when it comes to BlizzCon, I think the meta may change, and we don't know which team may become strong. So we'll have to watch out.
Okay, so we have Reset. Welcome. We had Snitch just last week. He called out Gen.G when they won the Western Clash, undefeated. They said, Gen.G, we are coming for you. Do you have any words in return since Snitch is here, and maybe to those out there that are listening?
자, 스니치 선수가 지금 이번 이스턴 클래시 때 개건해설로 오셨는데 웨스턴 클래시를 우승하고 그때 이제 당시에 젠지 우리가 오고 있다 이렇게 예고장을 날렸었어요. 그래서 답변을 지금 여기 있는 스니치 선수에게 한번 해주셨으면 합니다.
저희가 어차피 디그니타스를 미드 시즌에서 이겨봤기 때문에 이제 블리즈컨도 이제 저희가 디그니타스를 무조건 이기는 그림이 나오지 않을까 싶습니다.
We already beat Dignitas in mid-season brawl, so I expect us to win again in BlizzCon.
We'll see what happens behind stage. But first, obviously, this is for you guys. This is your moment. Any word to the fans, to those that are watching out there now that you've captured this, had the run? The floor is yours if you want to have any words for the fans.
예, 스니치 선수 관련해서는 백스테이지에서 두고 보겠고요. 이제 여기 계신 팬분들에게 말씀 한번 부탁드리겠습니다.
교통이 안 좋은데 여기까지 찾아오신 것에 대해서 굉장히 감사함을 느끼고요. 이제 다음 플리그 다음에 이제 올해 가장 큰 무대인 블리즈컨 있잖아요. 거기서 이제 저희가 이제 항상 그랬듯이 결승에 먼저 가서 최고의 경기를 이제 미드 시즌에 버금가고 아니면 그보다 훨씬 더 높은 차원의 경기를 보여드릴 수 있도록 더 노력하겠습니다. 감사합니다.
So I'm really thankful to all the fans who came here despite the inconvenient transportation. And as for BlizzCon, we'll wait at the final round and show you match equivalent that of mid-season brawl, if not better.
Well, congratulations, guys, on your victory. Obviously, the big victory for you guys. We'll look forward to you in the future at BlizzCon. That's going to do it for us here today at the Eastern Clash. Thank you all for watching. We'll be back next week for more league play, but for now, this is your champion, Gen.G.
doom.
Ready to roll out.